75 years later.
You see me. You see me. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Sup? I'm recording. Alright, back. Sup? Dope. Nope. I'm not even close to being. Okay, here we go. Okay, get my shit together. Sup? Dope.
In November 2011, Latoya Emmons, along with her mother and 3 kids, moved into their new house at 3860 Carolina Street in Gary, Indiana. What happened to them was almost unbelievable. Most people didn't believe them until they witnessed it with their own eyes. What this family experienced was horror that was so bad, a documentary and movie was made about it.
Oh, shit.
This is the true story behind the movie, The Deliverance.
I've never seen that before, ever. I never heard of this movie or the story. Is it paranormal? That's my favorite type. Do y'all think they should make one last Paranormal Activity movie? Or that's it?
In November 2011, Latoya Emmons and her mother...
I saw it! Wow. Devil. I saw it. Go back a couple frames. Go back. I saw Exorcism. That out of all of these words in there, Exorcism was the only one that really stood out to me. God damn. Haunting in Indiana, yeah. Leads to family's exorcism. Jesus, child's levitation. God damn.
Her mother and her 3 children, then ages 7, 9, and 12, moved into a house located at 3860 Carolina Street. Days after the family moved in, they claimed black flies swarmed the porch in December and kept returning even though the family believed they were killed. After moving in, Rosa Campbell, who's the grandmother, initially heard footsteps in the basement and doors creaking. Usually after midnight, Campbell and Emmons both said they occasionally heard the steady clump of footsteps climbing the basement stairs and the creak of the door opening between the basement and the kitchen, but no one was there. Even after they would lock the door, the noise continued. Later, she alleged to have witnessed the shadowy figure of a man pacing in the living room.
God damn!
And found a boot print. Campbell claimed that she was choked by an unknown force. Emmons' 12-year-old daughter claimed to have levitated above her bed during a sleepover with a friend.
What?
It was about 2 a.m.
If I'm ever at a sleepover and I wake up just off some like sus shit, right? If I just wake up and one of my friends, like we slept in the living room, or like we dozed off in the living room, and one of my friends, and I wake up and one of my friends is just standing up, motion like this, he's looking at the wall. I'm leaving, going in the car, and I might just wait it out. Best believe the whole car gonna be on, just in case. Cause what the hell are you doing? What are you looking at? What you looking at Adam? Adam, why she looking at you like that, player? Huh? You don't look that good. You don't look that good. You're a lamp with a big ass head. Pause.
Normally, Campbell, Emmons, and her children would have been asleep.
Is this the
They were
movie?
mourning the death of a loved one with a group of friends. Emmons, who was in Campbell's bedroom at the time, startled everyone by screaming.
Go back. So the kids in the background.
It was about 2 a.m. Normally, Campbell, Emmons.
So the kids in the background, the people in the background, they acting like they don't see this shit right here. What's she doing? Like she just screaming at the wall? Wow, alright.
And her children would have been asleep, but they were mourning the death of a loved one with a group of friends. Emmons, who was in Campbell's bedroom at the time, startled everyone by screaming. Campbell said she ran into her bedroom where her then 12-year-old granddaughter and her friend were staying. Both the mother and the grandmother said the 12-year-old was levitating above the bed, but she was unconscious. According to their account of events, Emmons and several others surrounded the girl praying. The grandmother said she remembers being terrified. Eventually, Campbell said her granddaughter fell into the bed after they engaged in prayer. The daughter had no memory of the incident.
My ass.
The older son was allegedly thrown across the room by unknown.
Kill your daughter. Kill your daughter. That's not your daughter no more. Your daughter gone. She dead. She out of here. She's in Kansas right now. I don't know why I said Kansas, but she's in Kansas right now. She gone for. She done for. That's not your daughter no more. You go ahead and kill that son of a clutch. Somebody said, in a tweet, that if YouTube ever gets any more stricter about like cursing, foul language, all my what's the name is, all my cursing is gonna be like clucked, clutch, and what is it? Is it grass? Class? Something that rhyme with ass. That's crazy how YouTube's getting more strict.
The younger son allegedly had his eyes rolled into the back of his head and was growling, saying, "It's time to die and I'll kill you."
Wow.
The family reached out to their doctor, Jeffrey Anuku, on April 19, 2012. When he visited the house during a supposed hunting, he noted that their behavior was delusional. Someone from his office contacted the police. After the police arrived, the children were taken to the hospital. The older boy was described as acting rationally while the younger boy screamed and thrashed. The mother and grandmother said that they didn't know exactly what it was, but they believed it was something supernatural. They called local churches, but most refused to listen. Eventually, after listening to Campbell and Emmons talk about the house and visiting it, officials at one church told them that the Carolina Street house had spirits in it. They recommended that the family clean the home with bleach and ammonia, then use oil to draw crosses on every door and window. At the church's suggestion, Emmons said that she poured olive oil on her 3 children's hands and feet, and smeared oil in the shape of crosses on their foreheads. Campbell and Emmons also reached out to 2 clairvoyants who said that the family's home was haunted by more than 200 demons. Their explanation made sense to Campbell and Emmons.
Haunted by over 2. That's like an. Sorry for my young fans. That's like an orgy of demons at your house. 200? 200. 200 demons. That's a lot of demon dicks.
They say because it meshed with their Christian faith. They were told to move out of the house, but that wasn't even an option.
What?
Being that they couldn't move away from the house, they made an altar in the basement. Emmons said she and another person donned white t-shirts and white scarves around their heads. Also, on the clairvoyant's advice, they burned sage and sulfur throughout the house, starting upstairs and working their way down. The smoke was so thick that they could hardly breathe. Emmons drew a cross with the smoke. The person she was with read Psalms 91 aloud as they moved around the house.
Psalm 91.
The grandmother mentioned that the 7-year-old once flew out of a bathroom like he'd been thrown out of the room.
Oh my God.
The 12-year-old daughter mentions that she has been held down and choked, but nothing was there.
What? Yo. From the moment Mr. Nightmare Files started this video, it has been action-packed. Something is going on. And why couldn't they just leave the house? They couldn't go to a motel? Hotel? Holiday Inn? Like, they can't... that's cap. They could have left.
Some nights were so bad that the family had to sleep at a hotel.
Thank you.
Finally, in desperation, They went to their physician. Evans said that she told him what was going on and hoping that he might understand. Campbell said grandson cursed at the doctor in a demonic voice, raging at him. Medical staff said the youngest boy was lifted and thrown into the wall without anyone touching him. The boys abruptly passed out and wouldn't wake up. The grandma cradled one boy in her arms, while their mother held the other. Someone from the doctor's office called 911 and said 7 or 8 police officers and multiple ambulances showed up, but no one knew what was going on. The Department of Child Services, DCS, was alerted. DCS believed that the children were performing for their mother.
What?
Stories were published.
Performing for their mother? You let me know what child performs by being thrown across the house, being levitated, standing at a wall. I can vouch for this. Because I did this a couple of times. Because I got in trouble a lot as a kid. My mom would make me look at a wall for like a long ass time. But not like screaming at the wall and shit like that. You know? Levitating, saying all kinds of shit. Eyes rolling back in the back of their heads. You let me know what child wants and likes to be thrown on the other side of the house just to perform for. Do you think these kids want to do this to be noticed? Jesus.
Outlets such as New York Daily News reported that DCS personnel had allegedly witnessed the youngest boy walking up the wall backwards.
All right. Hold on. Give me a second. He said walking up the wall was bad. This story alone beats in a sense of like crazy ass, cluck ass shit that I've seen in the movies. Just movies. This beats Paranormal Activity, the Exorcism movies, Insidious. What's the other one? It was with a couple. They investigated Paranormal Activity, but it was a couple. I reacted to the movies. Beats Annabelle. The couple had Annabelle at the bottom, like in the basement. I forgot what that movie is called. Wow. I mean, but granted, some of these movies that we've seen, like on some Paranormal Activity shit, like they're based off like true stories, but like they're kind of like they take some of it back because the real stories is much more terrifying. But this shit is up there. All right, I'm not gonna say it's better than all these other movies that I've just named. I'm just saying like this story goes up there with like all these other top tier Paranormal Activity stories and movies.
Later, police asked whether the boy had run up the wall, as though performing an acrobatic trick. Everyone that witnessed it said that the boy glided backward on the floor, wall, and ceiling.
Okay, these images, these videos that we're seeing, are these like stock videos or is this from like the movie?
To their police report. He then smacked his grandmother. 37-year police captain Charles Austin believes paranormal activity occurred in the house. There was a photo published by the Indianapolis Star, claimed to show a shadowy figure when no one was at home. The family hired Father Michael Maginot to perform the exorcism.
Y'all just not doing it?
He interviewed the family on April 22nd, 2012, and concluded that they were being tormented by demons. He told the mother to look up the names of the demons that they came up with, so he could use the names in the exorcisms because names have meanings. He eventually performed 3 exorcisms,
Jesus.
2 in English and 1 in Latin. And 1 exorcism was performed on LaToya Emmons herself. Eventually, the Emmons family moved to Indianapolis in mid-2012, and after that, the event stopped. A few years later, the house was purchased in order to make a documentary. But in the middle of production, a series of unfortunate events happened to the creator of the documentary and his crew. After the completion of the documentary, he had the house demolished. Since then, he hasn't had anything happen to him in relation to the house, nor did the Emmons family.
You know what I feel like? First of all, where can I watch this movie at? That's first. Second of all, when I feel like, personally, I don't really know, but I feel like when all of these paranormal activity stuff happens, and it's like it gets a lot, like it gets a lot for the family to handle. Like shit happens every day, like big scale shits, throwdowns, like people getting tossed in the house, people getting choked out. You know what I mean? People getting scratched, beat the hell up. Like really, really, how do you, like physical, real, hard, fucking all that, right? And it gets too much for the family to handle. So they move halfway across the country, right? And now they be like, oh, I'm good. I'm great. I haven't had no incidents in 10 years. I feel like the demons are just waiting. I don't know what they waiting on, but I feel like they just hovering over your house, hovering over your bed while you sleep, in the shower, while you cooking, while you taking a nap, while you watching TV. I just feel like they're with you. They just not doing nothing again yet. Because I feel like you can't just go from like being choked out, getting beat the hell up, scratched, being thrown across the house, levitated, to, all right, I'm good. Nothing has happened to me. I haven't witnessed nothing in the last 15 years. I'm good. No, you're not good. I would still be on the edge of my seat, walking on eggshells to the day I die. Cluck.
This is the true story behind the movie, The Deliverance.
I still have, the Deliverance. I've never seen that before.
There was like horseflies on the inside porch, and this was, the beginning of winter, so that was very odd. We would lock the basement door, and you would hear something hit the door, boom, and you would hear dogs barking. No dogs outside, no dogs. We would go look, no dogs.
One time, she woke up in the middle of the night, maybe like 3 a.m, and they saw this shadowy figure pacing back and forth in the living room.
Thank you.
And I saw one like coming into full image. It was coming out of my closet. I've never seen it like that before. I would see the shadows, but I've never seen it like how I'm looking at you and you're looking at me.
You see him stretching his stomach. And my grandson was crying, oh, Mama, Grandma, help. And then we go to his leg, and his leg was bulging. I'm like, oh my God, Tree, look. It was bulging out of his arm. And then we pray over and ignored him.
Latoya took me inside the house and showed me different stuff. I didn't see anything that was relevant to what she said, even though other people did. So I was very skeptical. I just figured she owed me money, it was just a fabricated story. And that's not strange to my walk of life. That does happen, you know. Like I said, I thought I heard it all. This is new one to me.
And I told my daughter, I said, they're gonna make it look like we are hurting the children. So we're gonna have to get some help some kind of place, some kind of way. We gotta convince somebody that this is actually going on.
This boy was in one of the emergency room areas. He was kind of growling, and his grandmother was holding his hands and trying to coax him back. And all of a sudden, he started, she was kind of backing him up and toward the wall, and then he started to walk up the wall backwards. Did a flip over her head.
God damn.
And then there was the psychologist and the social service worker in that room that saw that, and they ran out and got the security, and the security called the chaplain, and he called me, and they got the police involved and all that.
Until he saw what the other one did when he went up that wall. Then you're like, oh my God, this is impossible. Nobody can do this. Nobody.
There's 5 people that saw this happen, and they're, different walks of life. That does change things a little bit. I have a hard to believe that all 5 of those people will say this just to be saying it.
It was pretty much without incident until we get to the part of your name, and you ask for its name. Now, so far, she's always been silent. And I said, is your name whatever? And then all of a sudden, she started convulsing and such. So now, once you have a name, you kind of attack it. You try everything, you kind of go through the whole rite to see which things push the buttons of, the entity. And once you found what does it, you keep on using it over and over. Whenever you would praise God in Latin, no reaction. But you start condemning the demon, condemning, the evil spirit, all of a sudden she's reacting to that. And then you will go back, and the moment you go back to praising God, she would stop reacting. So I went through the whole rite, and then finally went the second time, and then it was just focusing on the condemnations part. And that was kind of riling up. I think I even went a third time. But you could tell it was kind of weakening, and then eventually she fell asleep again.
Demons can actually possess you, use you. So you can give them souls, and they make you take your own life, So, I mean, it's real. And a lot of people don't think about it. They live their lives day to day, and you never think that would be your...
Began to flicker.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't be thinking about this. And like she said, just live their life day to day. I think about it, but I'm not freaking out every day. But you have to know about spirits. You have to know about the afterlife, and that they come into this world whether you want to or not.
Buzz, and they were pointing out that's one of the things that happens, electronical, interference. And so I went over there and looked at, went to look at it, and then stopped. So I came back, and then, okay, tell me about the boyfriend. Then it started again. And then I went back again, and it stopped. Then at this time I came back and says, I guess it's afraid of me. And then it started again. But this time it wouldn't stop, So I even went, got my crucifix, put it on it. It was defiant. It was still buzzing and everything. And so I just kind of let it go. And I wanted to get, what's with the boyfriend. Then they started to point to, in the kitchen, they have Venetian blinds all through all the windows. And so the little rod windows. And so the little rod that you turn to open and close it was swinging back and forth. And they said they would swing back and forth in unison. The whole house would kind of, on each of those. And so I went to look at that. And then I saw the furnace kick on. And they had tags at the bottom of the 3 little strings that, opened the Venetian blinds. And they were fluttering. And the stick was going back and forth. And then the furnace kicked off, So that stopped. But the thing was still going back and forth. Then I saw it doing the same thing in unison at the next window, the next window, the next window. So I went to all the windows, and they were all going back and forth. So I got to Latoya's room, and then there was, it looked like something was dripping down her blinds, you know, and I don't remember seeing that. And I go, oh, what's this? And she goes, well, she said she put oil on her blinds in the sign of the cross, but this seemed to be just one vertical line and was dripping. And then I was feeling it, and it was oil.
I can only imagine what. Did y'all hear that? Should be alright. Prius? Is that what they're called? The ones that do the exorcism? Or the ones that be doing that perform the exorcism. I know they see shit not every day, but like every other day, like every so often. Jeez. And I wonder if they ever go to sleep in fear. Or probably not, because they got God on their side. But probably, I don't know. I don't know if I was in his shoes. Some nights I would have sleepless nights. For real. Cause like, if I ever walk in, if I'm in his position, if I ever walk in and I see like a demon going to town on a family with that ghost thing, yeah, I'm not sleeping for like the next week, cause that's he going to town.
You know, I said I don't remember seeing that, you know, before, and so, and then I was still trying to get back to seeing about the boyfriend, and then she points down, and there's footprints, wet footprints.
Oh, it was helping you adjust your mic there, Father. There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
And so I went to look at them, and they were just around her, and they're wet, and you know I could kind of smear them, but they didn't seem to go anywhere, because I was in the bathroom, I was in the kitchen, and I also came outside, and I don't know if it was raining or whatever, but there was none of my footprints were going there. They're just there, you know, and you know, so, and I don't remember seeing those before either, so I'm writing all this down, but I'm trying to get to the boyfriend, you know,
right.
And it's trying not to get that direction. And then all of a sudden she starts shivering, you know. She starts shivering. And then she goes into her bedroom to get a blanket to put around her. Then all of a sudden she throws the blanket off and says she's burning up, you know. And I'm still trying to, you know, can you tell me about the boyfriend? and you know, and then she's sick, she has a headache, and you know, I said, okay, it's okay, and it's about 10:30 at night, you know, so that's about after 4 hours. And I said, it's not gonna let me do this. So, and I didn't want to go beyond midnight or anything there. Sure. So I kind of saw, okay, I saw enough, and so we kind of closed up. But we're going to continue the rest of the interview by phone. I wanted to hear about.
Oh no, you did not just end it like that. Come on, Nightmare. I'm pissed because I was listening to that. Maybe I can watch this whole podcast on YouTube or something. If somebody can give me like a link to this podcast, I'll react to that. Hopefully it's not too long. I kind of want to check out this movie. Like I said, I never heard of it before. But the way this family and this father was talking about it, seemed crazy as shit. I can't believe they experienced all of that in their house. I would have left a long time ago. I don't know why they didn't just leave in the first place. Maybe I missed that part, but I would have just left a long time ago. I would have stayed in a hotel, you know what I mean? Motel, Holiday Inn. You know, my neighbor's house or whatever. You know what I mean? Because why would you just stay in there. Either you can fight it, my ass. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy, my family.